The third angles theorem is very useful. If you know two angles of a triangle, then you can, if two corresponding sets of angles are congruent, so like see how A has double marking and D has double marking, B has one marking and E has one marking. If you know that you have this set that's corresponding congruent, this set that's corresponding congruent, then you know automatically that the third set of angles are also congruent. So you would be able to mark this angle with 3 arcs and this one with 3 arcs, showing that those are congruent to each other. Notice that there's a different number of arcs in each one because we don't know if any of these are the same, but we do know that B and E are the same, they have the same marking. A and D are the same, they have the same marking, and C and F are the same, they have the same marking. So moving down the page, we're going to use that rule. So looking at this picture in number 4, I've got markings in 2 of my angles. I've got markings in 2 of my angles here. I'm going to copy the ones that are marked the same with their numbers here. So R is 45, it's marked with 1 arc. So over here, the one with 1 arc, I can say that that's 45. I could also copy this one with the 65 that has 2 arcs over here. So you could just copy it to each one and see if it's useful. So I'm looking and I have a y that I'm going to need to solve for, and so it's the third angle. So if we add these together and subtract from 180 using the ThirdAnglesThm theorem, we'll be able to solve for y. So adding them together, 45 and 65 is 110. So 180 minus 110 leaves me with 70 degrees. So I know that y is 70 degrees. On the right, I've got one that has a little bit more algebra involved in it. I've got, let's see, we're going to have to look closely at these markings. This one has 3 markings, and so does this one up here, so that I can label that with a 20 degrees. Each of these could be with a 120, and that means that these are congruent here. I am only going to use one triangle as I work this problem, which is why I moved the 20 up here. And so this triangle is supposed to add to 180. 2 of these angles are marked with degree measures, so I'm going to add those up. 120 and 20 is 140. So 140 degrees is used up by these 2 angles. That means if I subtract that from 180, I know that there's 40 degrees left. So this angle here has to be 40 degrees. So I can set 2y plus 2 equal to 40 degrees and solve it. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. 2y equals 38, and divide both sides by 2, and that gives me that y equals 19.